You have been asking about my mixed borders in the front garden and the back garden last year, so I thought I will take you through the seeds now. These are the new statice, these are the garden border statice, and they look absolutely amazing. A lot of my pictures feature the apricot statice, so I thought I'd put that one next to it so you can remember. These have got the more slender stems than the garden border statice, but if you love these have got some apricot in them as well, so they blend. So if you just plant them all around the garden border mix, the garden border mix will help keep them upright because the plants are much more sturdy. And then for some flowers, what I planted was the apricot cosmos because it goes so beautifully. We've got some of the apricot straw flower, which is what I'm putting in this year because that's going to just be fantastic. And then we've got our phlox creme brulee. It's not actually the best picture. I took this one quite a while ago. I really need to do a new picture. But if I run a video for you now, you can see the shades in the phlox creme brulee in this variety match exactly to the shades in the statice. Oh, look at that. That looks nice together, doesn't it? This variety is a lot more chunky. Look at the stems. Can you see how more chunky they are? Now you can still use them for flower arrangements and you can still use them to dry. However, they're not quite as slender, but they are more sturdy in the garden and they won't fall over so easily. So if you want them for garden decoration primarily and then just a little bit of cutting and arranging, then these are the ones for you. Just to give you a comparison, this is the apricot and this is specially bred for cut flowers, and you can see just how much more slender the stems are. And then I started planting these in my garden beds and borders. So these are the China asters, but these are much better for planting in the garden. They haven't got the big heads. So when it rains, they don't get weighed down, and you can literally pick a big bunch of flowers, and you've got plenty of flowers on there, so you can leave some in the garden and you can pick some. They're just amazing, and you can see how well they go. And then for foliage, I had the Nicotiana lime green because that's so good for shady spots. My brand new amaranthus and the panic and frosted explosion, which you cannot go wrong with. I use that everywhere in the garden to fill space. I mean, wowee, look at that. Absolutely stunning. It's the same colour as the king size apricot, but petite. They are in a bucket so you can get a comparison. So these are the salmon queen and just behind them are the king size apricot. So you can see if you grow them both, that would be perfect for weddings because you've got the smaller flowers to fill in any gaps, and then you've got your bigger flowers for your dramatic display, and they blend together beautifully. They're amazing planted in the garden together too. This is a good picture. So you can see we've got king size apricot, that's the bigger one at the front, and then salmon queen right next door to it. So you can see how sturdy they are. I'm sure I've got a better picture than this. This is the best bit actually. Finding all the photos of the new seed varieties and getting all excited when I remember how lovely they are. And then for my scent, because we don't have a lot of scent around at that time of the year once the sweet peas have gone over. So the carnation, I just dotted that amongst all of the flowers. It looked absolutely sensational next door to the hollyhocks And just behind the hollyhocks, I had the new Snapdragon strawberry cream. So that was at the back. And then just in front, we had the hollyhock. Now in the front garden, I added a few more items just to make sure that it looked a bit different to the back garden. So I had the Rebecca, I had masses of the Rebecca, as I always do. It's absolutely fantastic. And then for a splash of colour, I had snapdragons, and then I also had some more of the hollyhocks. I had some left over from the back garden and some brighter cosmos. So I went with some of the red cosmos as well as the peach one. And then here in the limited edition packet is the Clary Sage. Hallelujah, we have managed to get some more in for you. So the Clary Sage can be sowed in late winter and again in spring. And that was flowering for me all the way through the season. It looks amazing with everything. I've got myself here a lovely bunch of Clary Sage. Now I actually picked these a few hours ago, but because I've waited until the stems are nice and firm, they haven't wilted out of water. So what I can now do is just literally turn the bunch upside down, leave them to dry, and I can then use them as everlasting flowers. It is tempting though not to just put the whole bunch into a glass vase of water, isn't it? Because they are so beautiful. And then popping up in between are these. Now these are scabious, but they're much shorter than the cat flower variety. So you don't need to stake it if you don't want to. You can if you want poker straight stems, but if you just want to mix it like the carnations through the bed, they have this gorgeous lilac flower. Now the lilac flower goes just perfect with the phlox creme brulee, so you can plant them quite close together. These just behind, they're a touch taller, and they also go so well with our garden border status, which is where we came up with the lilac theme in the first place. And the great thing is, because it's the seed pods that we're after, you don't have to do anything to them once you've planted them. You just leave them. These lovely pods will start to emerge. Just imagine them poking through the panic and frosted explosion. And then you can cut them and dry them. You can use them fresh, or you can dry them for everlasting flowers. But that is just going to give you a wonderful garden border display. Plenty of flowers for drying, because you've got your scabious here, you've got your statice, and also you've got your straw flowers. So you've got loads to dry, and everything can also be used fresh. I mean, that just looks wonderful just as it is. So you can put all the pictures on your fridge when you get your packets home and remind yourself of what it's going to look like. So this is what I'm going to be planting in my mixed borders this spring. So if you order the seeds that you need, you might have some of these already. Some of them are brand new. Decide which ones you need, and then we can sow and grow them together, and then we can do the planting together. I thought you might like a quick update on one of our mixed garden border beds. It's looking absolutely fabulous with this lovely sunshine, and look at the hollyhocks. So these ones I've planted in the garden rather than the containers. I mean, look at that flower, it's pristine, and how massive is it? Look at that. And I've got a lovely selection of colours. So these just came like this from the packet, from the January seed shop. We started the seeds in March. I mean, look at that. Absolutely transformed the garden with these lovely colours. Well, that was short and sharp. I think the plants really needed it though. Absolutely gorgeous out here. Look at those hollyhocks in that bed. I shan't go out. I'll zoom you in instead. Look at that.
absolutely glorious. And all still standing, despite the rain.